So, first of all, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depends on wherever you are in the world. And welcome to our webinar. I'm Sonia Trivedi, Communications Manager in Moodle, and I'm very excited to be with you here today with Moodle solution provider Vyond and Moodle certified integration partner Near-Life, and to talk about all things interactive video. As I'm sure you're all aware, video is a key component in fostering engagement and motivation throughout the learning journey. Interactive video significantly enriches this experience, creating a hands-on environment that encourages individuals to actively engage with the content, thereby deepening their understanding and retention. That's why I'm thrilled to co-host this webinar and provide you with more insights on how to scale your video creation. So let's present our companies and speakers today. With Vyond, one of our obviously first speakers here, anyone can create engaging animated videos that help you communicate better and drive positive business outcomes. Vyond streamlines the process of video creation, allowing you to make relevant and scalable video content in a fraction of the time and fraction of the cost. The other company I would like to present today is Near-Life, as I mentioned, Moodle certified integration partner. Their interactive video and VR authoring platform is designed to allow educators and learning professionals to create and share immersive and interactive content quickly and easily. And now, very quickly about our speakers. Corey is the channel account manager at Vyond. In his role, he works closely with Vyond's overseas partners to ensure that they and the Vyond's customers that they work with have the support they need. On the other side here, we have Mike, who is the founder and CEO of Near-Life and has extensive experience in media and technology. In addition to his involvement with software, he has worked in film and television, creating award-winning documentaries for places such as ESPN, PBS, and the BBC. So now, without further ado, I would like to give the word to Corey. Corey, welcome. Please join the stage.
Great. Thanks, Sonia. I appreciate the introduction. So yeah, I'll start off by showing a little bit about Vyond, including, why Vyond is relevant, and then also a product demonstration so that you guys can see why it's relevant, and I'll kick it off to Mike. So I'll share my screen here. There we go. Great. So Vyond, like Sonia mentioned, Vyond is an intelligent video creation tool, but we like to think of ourselves as a communication tool first. So in today's world, your company has a lot of information that it needs to communicate, and there's a ton of different ways to communicate that information. And not all of them are as efficient as, video. And I'll show you some statistics on why video is most important. But with all of these different ways, the best way to cut through and give the best information is to have an efficient communication tool. And that's what Vyond strives for, using animated videos that are engaging and drive retention. So video is the answer to getting the communication across. 95% of information is retained when consumed through video versus 10% in text. So if you have important information that you need to get across and you're sending it in like a lengthy article or in some type of email format, it's not being retained as well as it would be through video. Also through Vyond, 75% of employees are more likely to watch a video than to read text. So if you're looking for engagement and you're looking for retention from the people that you're trying to get the information to, straight from the source, employees are more likely to watch a video, especially when you think of today's world in the modern age. We consume things through video, through social media, and Vyond is, relevant within that sphere as well. Also, just looking at statistics of the brain, 90% of the information transmitted to the brain is visual, and visuals are processed 60,000 times faster in the brain than text. The brain is just meant to incorporate video and visuals and turn that, information they're seeing in that video into information that we can process and retain. So again, the reason behind Vyond also is the way that Vyond operates. We use the power of AI And you can create a video in a fraction of the time that you have to spend using traditional methods. So with your traditional video making process, you can have different stages that can take weeks up to months. You've got your pre-production that goes into, getting approval for concepts, getting your script created. That's a huge time suck. You also have the production of, setting up the sound, the lighting. You've got post-production with editing and adding video. And then you might have a review process where people have to go through and look at the edits and make more approvals. And again, this can take weeks or months. With Vyond, we cut through all of that to allow you to make a video that is easy to create and easy to use and easy to update. And we can cut that time down from a couple weeks or a couple months into a couple hours. Using the power of AI, which I'll show you in a minute, you can create a video within seconds, edit the script, and then fully customize that video with content that you want. And you can do that an unlimited amount of times. So rather than having months or weeks to work with one video and the time and the money that comes with that, you can do this over and over again and translate into any language, not any language, 70 plus languages that we have in our database. And again, that's going to save you not just time, but money that you can repeatably do over and over again. So some of the ways that animated video is going to drive better engagement, Vyond has tens of thousands of different assets, characters, and props that we can add into video to make them more engaging and make any idea that you have come to life. So if you're a healthcare company and you want to set up a scene within a doctor's office, we can do that for you. If your company wants to drive across the point of having better diversity within the workplace, you can create any character that you want and any element that you want. And then you can go in and review and update and edit anything very quickly with just a couple clicks of a button and add any props or make any changes that you want just by clicking around. It's very intuitive. So I want to show you our AI. I had mentioned it before, but we have an AI called Vyond Go, where it allows you to put in a simple prompt and then you can create a video within a couple seconds. So if you guys were to go to our homepage at Vyond, and you go over here to create, if you have you can see create with AI here, or you can go over here, create with AI, and you put in a simple prompt right here. So with the AI, you can even put in an article. You have 4,000 characters to put in here. So if you have an interesting article that you find online and you want to create a video out of that, you can copy and paste that entire article, put it in a topic, and Vyond Go will create a video for you. So I'd mentioned healthcare, and I've got an example of healthcare later. So I could just do, let's say we want to make a video about policies around smoking near hospitals. You can change the layout as well. If you want to make it conversational, or if you want to have it informational, or you just want someone to narrate it. So with this, it's centered around healthcare. I can select a healthcare scene with a character already pre-made. And then I can go down here and I can change the language that I want it to be in. And you can see we have a ton of different options. So if I want to keep it in English, and I can choose a dialect, UK, United States, Philippines, Singapore, all of the above. And then you just click create this video. It takes about 30 seconds. But our AI will take your topic with the scene that you want, with the language you selected, create a video and a script for you. And then once you have that video and a script, you'll be able to go in, view the video, and make any changes to the script that you want in real time, and the video will reflect those changes. So let me know if anyone has any trouble hearing this, but I'll play the video for you just to see how quickly we created a video. And if you remember those traditional methods I mentioned before, you'll see just how fast this is.
Have you ever walked out of a hospital and been met with a cloud of smoke? Let's talk about the importance of policies around smoking near hospitals. Did you know that secondhand smoke can cause heart disease and lung cancer? The World Health Organization reports that non-smokers exposed to secondhand smoke increase their risk of developing these diseases by 25% and 20%, respectively. This is why it's important for hospitals to have policies around smoking. Not only does it protect the health of non-smokers, but it also encourages smokers to quit. Let's take the example of the University of California, San Francisco. They implemented a policy in 2014 that banned smoking on all hospital grounds and saw a 13% decrease in smoking rates among their employees. So let's advocate for policies around smoking near hospitals. It's a small step that can make a big difference in public health.
Great. So as you saw, the video was playing, I was going through the script over here on the right, and you could see it talking. So let's say I wanted to go back through the video, and I want to change how this looks. Instead of saying policies around smoking near hospitals, I can just say hospital policy around smoking. And if I want her to say something different in the video, I can also go in here. So as soon as I click out of it, it makes the changes. All those changes are now implemented. You can see at the very beginning right here, hospital policy around smoking was the change that I made there. And then I made a change to her text to talk.
Are you tired of walking through smoke near your hospital?
So you can make changes to the script in real time, and then you'd be able to go in here and you'd fully be able to edit the video in Vyond Studio. What that means is you can go in there and you can add any props, you can add any characters, you can add any assets, you can change the music, the background, and you can add to the script and make the video longer. What Vyond Go and our AI is meant to do is give you a starting block that you can fully customize and then go in and make the video your own. After you have that starting block within just a couple of minutes, you can get a finished product by editing in Studio that could look something like this. This was an actual video that was created by a Vyond customer, Sendwell in West Birmingham, NHS Trust, to create a policy of non-smoking around their hospital grounds. And again, this is something you could start with Vyond Go with the video that I showed you, and then make the full video with edits in Studio to make yourself a fully engaging video that gets across your policies with an animated video using Vyond. Now, with our partnership with Near-Life, what you're actually able to do is gamify your videos. You can make a video in Vyond, and then with Near-Life, you could go in and make your video interactive. With an interactive video, you get more engagement because people are actually clicking and interacting with the video, which leads to more retention and more engagement through your employees and the people that you want the information to get to. So I will kick it off to Mike and let him discuss how Near-Life can also help with more engaging videos.
Thank you very much, Corey. So yes, I mean, we've been having a collaboration with both Vyond and Moodle for a number of years now, and we found that, I think Vyond have found the same, there's a lot of kind of mutual beneficial outcomes that can be achieved by putting the two tools together. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the interactive side. You've seen how easy it is to create your videos using a tool like Vyond, how simple and straightforward, especially with the AI generation that they now offer. So why consider making the video interactive? Well, I'll just really talk you through some of the benefits and just maybe give a few tips on how you can start to look about creating your own interactive projects. So why think about interactive content? Well, you've learned all about the benefits that video offers. Obviously, it's a great way to communicate video. But if you add interaction, you can actually enhance the engagement even further. And it's really an extension of a lot of established theories in learning and elsewhere around the idea of gamification. You've got principles around branching scenarios that you're able to put people in a position to make choices, to engage more with the content that they see. And the knowledge retention increases. And in fact, if you're actually translating maybe face-to-face activities that require engagement into an online environment, you can potentially lower cost. And we know from the research that's been shown that using this kind of interactive and immersive approach can actually improve knowledge retention by as much as 90%. So significant numbers, really. And you can safely fail. I mean, as I put there, you can make choices, take decisions, and you can play around really in a gamified way in a safe environment. So what would the right approach be for your interactive video? Well, there are different ways you can approach it. Interactive is a fairly broad umbrella term, and it covers quite a few different, quite distinct use cases. Very popular that we see in terms of applying Vyond with our tool is one around decision-based branching. I think branching scenarios are a well-established area now in learning. This idea that you make choices and see the outcomes based on those choices you make. Well, that's very simple to do using the video creation tools that something like Vyond offers, and combine it with our tool, you can design and create projects very easily. You've also got the ability to have interactive quizzes. Again, using something like Vyond, you saw some of the gamified templates there at the end that Vyond have. They've got so many different available themes and ideas that you can translate into simple quizzes and characters. So you can just have quizzes, and also you can make more complex gamified options. We did a promotion, I think, with Vyond. I've not got it for this webinar, around Halloween last year, and it was really like a mini adventure game where you could make choices, you could find objects. So you've really got the ability to pick the appropriate route for your own interactive project depending on the outcomes you're looking for. But another one that we will see, you've got use cases where you can perhaps just explore a topic, just make it a clickable video, and onboarding, which we will see an example of, is a great case in point, in that you could, maybe see about the company's policies or explore the health and safety rules or whatever it might be. But you can really just have a more engaging approach if you add the interaction. Very top level this, but we've seen how easy it is to create the videos using Vyond. If we were discussing interactive projects with some of our community, and this is kind of a very top level approach that we might suggest. Obviously, most people on the webinar, I'm assuming, are in learning education in some form, or more broadly in communication. Well, if you have learning objectives, then that can form a basis for having what we would call a story workshop. So if you are having a kind of a narrative project, decision-based scenario, then you can use that type of engagement to have a workshop. Okay, how is this going to be implemented in real life? How are we going to translate our learning objectives into a dynamic video-based learning exercise? And it could all inform this story document that we suggest here. Could be the type of document that might inform your Vyond AI generation, for example. But we say a lot of the thinking with interactive projects happens up front before you get to the building stage. And you'll see in a moment, if you've got the thinking in place, it's very easy to build out your game diagram and to get your script and your media production using Vyond. It's very simple. So that's really just a very top level overview. I actually am skipping through those slides because I just want to show you some of the basic ideas around how it's implemented, because I think seeing this thing in practice is more helpful than me talking about it. So if I just bear with me a moment, I just skip into the Vyond tool here. So the one I had up on the screen there is a project by an organization called St. John Ambulance here in the UK. They are a leading kind of provider of first aid training. And this was a simple scenario that they created around advice if you see somebody choking. So you see here, there's kind of a game diagram built out. And the way our tool works, the way it kind of supports something like Vyond, is that you can quickly build out your game diagram. So I can drag and drop these graph nodes, set up the structure I want, and I can add overlays around decision choices, around kind of button options. I can choose what happens, where they will go to. I can connect them. You can have hotspot areas. Well, there's a lot you can do, but basically it's really working on the basis of overlays. So if you build a diagram here with different choices, different pathways, then you would simply create your videos, whatever your design process, whether it's the one I was outlining before, whatever approach you take, could create your videos in Vyond, and you just simply drag and drop them into the established game diagram. So in this case, I can do a preview here. There's just a very simple few choices. I won't show the whole thing. this would be a classic decision-based scenario where you've got, and this was, I think, done during COVID, actually, from a year or so ago. So this guy, what happens here? Oh, yeah, he chokes on his popcorn. And then you've got the choices of what to do. So these interactive options, in this case, it's time-based. You can add time pressure, things like that. You've got to ask if they're choking. So I won't go through the whole scenario, but it's basically a classic branching scenario whereby you're presented with an event or presented with a scene, and then you're going to make choices, and the story or the interactions will unfold accordingly. So that would be a classic use case one, a branching scenario. If I just show you one a little bit more gamified, there's one here that's around kind of cybersecurity. So you can see here again, these are the type of creative templates that you can get in Vyond. This is using a whole kind of alien space theme. And you can see here you've got options around the choices you make, and you can choose, you can kind of add progress bars. So this is a much more gamified, includes quizzes and all the rest of it. And you can see the structure therefore is more, a little bit more involved, and everyone's kind of going through the same section. So you've got a lot of flexibility in terms of what you create. And this one in particular, it uses achievements and conditions. I won't go through the details, it can get a little bit complicated, but basically it will track the choice. It doesn't need to be, like we saw earlier, a choice leading to an outcome, the straightforward branching, but rather you can track achievements and kind of change what happens according to the choices people make, like by following the and tracking the achievements they've got across the whole scenario. So this is a good example, though, I think, of where you can get creative with your themes about, a fairly dry topic, very important with cybersecurity, but you can make a kind of you can create a more game-based feel to it all. And this is kind of like a combination of quiz, and you have to kind of like so anyway, again, we won't play the whole thing, but you get the idea. It's much more of a kind of a game-based, quiz-based exercise using the kind of creative templates that Vyond offers. I'll just show you one final example, just to show you really how the different structures. This is, again, using templates that Vyond offer. Great range of very specific templates they have. So this is onboarding. So this is using Vyond's particular onboarding templates. But you can see the design here is more of a kind of what I would call like an explorer graph, rather than just a branching scenario where you're going from A to B to C and making your choices. You are rather got a topic, and then you can explore the different options from effectively from a home screen. So you've got a little intro thing here. Actually, let me just show you this. So you can see here, this is like you've got these, you can choose when your interactions appear, and it could be time-based and all the rest. But this would give you an example of where you can kind of explore the topics around onboarding. So it doesn't have to be just one straightforward linear progression in terms of an interactive narrative, but rather you can explore a topic like onboarding. So that would be another kind of case study. When you've created your scenarios, obviously we're here with Moodle. We're very proud to be a certified integration partner with Moodle. So when you do this, you simply publish on the tool, and you can share using, you've got a few options, but you can do an LTI integration with Moodle. It's very simple. You just get a simple code. I'll show you in a moment. But you just kind of put that in your Moodle environment, so you can integrate these interactive experiences in your LMS very easily. And you can add things like score, so you can set pass-fail, you can use SCORM, and even you can use XAPI. So it's very much about making the integration easier. And you can actually even share, if you wanted to have a go on one of these, one of our customers kindly allowed us to flag this during this tool, but there's one of our users who used both Vyond and Near-Life, Mountain Pacific Healthcare. They did a project with in partnership with the Center for Disease Control in the US. And you can see here, if you wanted to have a play around, there is one available where it's a kind of a clickable, again, it's slightly different use case than the ones I've shown you here, in that you've got to click on different options in the rooms. I'm getting it wrong here. I won't embarrass myself by trying to get it right. Well, but anyway, that shows you can also be embedded in a public facing way. So you might have, you might be promoting a course, you show an interactive Vyond exercise, and then within your LMS, you've got the full one. But you can embed anywhere. You can use LTI to integrate within Moodle, or even just embed as an interactive video experience. So on that note, actually, we more or less covered. I will just to share very quickly, because I said I would share. So when you publish, this is what you would do. You've got an LTI launch here for your Moodle environment, and you can have this SCOM. And enterprise users can also download and upload it as a zip file. So very simple to share and all the rest of it. But there's a lot more we could go into. I know it's just a webinar to give you a few ideas if you're approaching interactive content for the first time. But hopefully it gives you a sense of how easy it is to combine Vyond and Near-Life and to make your interactive videos as engaging as possible. So with that, Sonia, I will hand over to you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
And we can do questions.
Thank you very much, Mike and Corey. It was super interesting to see more about that and the topic. And in the meantime, we have a lively discussion in the chat, which I'm trying also to keep up with. So I suggest, like, we had a couple of questions, but they got answered also in the chat. So maybe I can just share some of them with you so you can provide like a brief further input, and we have a couple of other things to discuss. How does it sound? We can start from the very beginning of the chat and see, first of all, Amy, for example. Amy asks something to Vyond. Okay, so Corey, it's for you. So Amy asks, I find Vyond Go, it's awesome, but at times I have a script that I don't want the video to deviate from. So she's basically asking you, are you getting a verbatim tool that follows the script exactly as I have included in the topic?
Yeah, so looking at the chat, it looks like Amy and I think it was someone else in there also said they have the same problem where they have an exact script, but they want to use Vyond Go and the AI to create the video option.
Yeah.
We don't have that capability now because we're using AI. We could put the same prompt in there and get a slightly different script each time. So Abel, our moderator for Vyond, thankful for the feedback. We appreciate it. That's how we improve it. Vyond Go is still in our beta phase, honestly, right now. Still relatively new. So we'll take that to our product team and see if that's an option that we can, make an improvement on in the future, where if you want to use Vyond Go for the video portion, but then have your script already made and you could put that in there, I think that'd be a worthwhile thing to look at.
Brilliant. Thank you, Corey. And also, Amy, you can let us know in the chat if that helps for you with the answers that we provided, and also Corey in the chat. Perfect. Okay, great to see that helped. So we move on with the question for you, Mike. It's about the integration with Articulate 360, Storyline 360. So basically the question, it's again from Amy asking, like, has Near-Life improved the integration with Articulate 360 to make embedding Near-Life easier on the Articulate Storyline platform?
Yes, it's easy. We were actually, we have quite a few users who use Articulate products maybe to design a wider course, and then they'll have an interactive experience, whether it's with our tool or combined with our tool and Vyond, however they approach it. And it's like effectively embedding embedding a video within the course. Now we are, I think I saw it on the chat. We're an Embedly provider, so Embedly's pretty much as close as you get to kind of a universal standard, and that's the standard that Articulate use. So it should be it should be simple. Amy, I can see her question. There was a more complicated way to do it previously, but it should be straightforward. We've been an Embedly provider probably shortly after you've done that you have to go through quite an involved process in terms of Embedly, but it should be hopefully straightforward. Anyway, we can help you with that, Amy. Sure.
Brilliant. Actually, she would love to set up a chat with you. So maybe after the session, you can reach out. I saw this comment in the chat as well. So that would be a great opportunity to help Amy further with that. Okay, brilliant. So these were a few questions. There is one super quick one. Can we add captions to Beyond video to make it more accessible? Corey, I guess yes.
We have a full suite of accessibility options, including closed captioning on our videos.
Brilliant. Okay. Okay, so there was one more, but I'm pretty sure she said answer to this one, choose your own journey, right? This was part of your presentation, Mike, when you were talking about the journeys. So Kelly asked whether you can choose your own journey.
Yeah, I think she's referring to. I may be misinterpreting about the kind of the general way a lot of people describe those decision bait is like a choose your own adventure, choose your own journey.
Yes,
It's kind of an
exactly.
established
Yes,
way of conceiving of the type of branching scenario. So that's definitely one very firmly popular use case that we have. But as I showed you, there are kind of some other ways you can use the interactions as well. It doesn't always have to be that kind of branching narrative where you're choosing your own adventure, but that is definitely one of the most popular ones.
perfect, perfect. And now, while the other participants are thinking of questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or in the Q&A session. I have very interesting questions as well, because video is going to be big in 2024. And starting with you, Corey, I wanted to ask, obviously, AI is hot topic for everyone, right? Like AI is the topic, I would say, for everyone nowadays. So according to you, how has the recent adoption of AI helped companies change the way that they go about video creation? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a great topic to talk about. And there's all kinds of webinars and ideas and talking heads about AI nowadays. But from its simplest form, I think AI has just done a great job to accelerate the time it takes and the money it takes to create your videos and to allow you to bring your ideas to life much faster. AI is not right now at a place where it's the end all be all. So I wouldn't want anybody to rely on Vyond Go to make 100% of their video if they're looking to get an idea fully fleshed, but it has given us a great starting block. We've had customers tell us this gets me 75% of the way there. And then all they have to do is edit their script, add in some assets, some props, and their video creation time is taken down, by that 75%. So if it gives us that power and companies that power to do that repeatably over and over again, we're going to see some real time savings from that side in the L&D world, but also beyond. There are other departments that use Vyond, HR, marketing, that get a lot of benefit out of it. And AI is really helping us take that next step of making video not as involved and making it much more accessible, and easy to create.
Brilliant. Definitely AI would be the way to go, I would say. But moving on to Mike. Mike, interactive video, another super hot topic. You obviously showed some examples, but then for people who haven't been involved in using interactive video before, can you give them some tips? How do you think they should approach things from the very beginning, from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, that's the hardest bit, really. You've seen with the demonstration that Corey gave how easy it can be now to create video content. That was obviously a barrier at a certain time, filming a video, producing a video, maybe hiring actors. The barrier to creating video was obviously high. That's been lowered, and Vyond have been a big part of that. And then hopefully with our tool, although it was just a brief overview, seeing that creating the interactivity is very simple, the design, the branching, and all the rest of it. So actually, the bit I would say requires the most upfront thought is kind of considering, okay, why would we approach this particular project as being interactive? And I would say areas that traditionally lend themselves to things like simulation or role play, or where you might have interactive exercises, quizzes, things where there is already an established form of, you might say experiential or gamified learning, or however you want to describe it. But those things tend to translate across very easily. So it's really that getting that conceptual thinking right first, and having once you've got that in place, the technical bits are the easy bits, in my view. Hopefully, anyway. I think both Corey and Vyond would say what their tool does is try to make things easy in terms of video creation. We're the same. We're very much focused about having you know, the interactive style side of things being easy to do. So that's the aim. So I would say think about why the interactivity adds value, link the interactivity to the learning objectives, and then the technical side is pretty much the most straightforward bit.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mike. And in the meantime, we have another question as well from Mikhail Perez. So he's asking, I think he's asking both of you, maybe, is in your roadmap the use of real people images instead of animated avatars? Who would like to answer?
Yeah, at its core, Vyond is going to be an animated software. We do have the option with, different partnerships that we have like Wellset Labs to bring in, different AI generated images or images of real things. But in terms of real people, that's not what our core is. We are an animated videos communication tool. So if you guys are looking for videos of real people, you can, like you said, Amy, have another platform that you can use the real people and then embed different portions with Vyond to explain certain things in an animated way. But at our core, we're not looking to be a real person, real life video tool. We're always going to be that animation based.
Okay, hope this answered your question. Thanks. Perfect. We can see that the question has been answered here. And probably just giving like few more minutes to the colleagues to have another question. I have one last question for you because it's a topic for Moodle as well. It's about gamification. Gamification is really proven to enhance a lot learners' engagement. So I'm curious to ask you both. The question is for both. There is obviously a crossover between interactive video and gamification. So can you tell us more about it and what is the value that it can bring to learners from your perspective? Maybe, Mike, you can start.
Well, I can go first if you like. Yeah, I mean, we really see interactive video as something that can be looked at as interchangeable with gamification. I mean, if someone mentioned that kind of choose your own adventure approach or choose your own journey earlier. I mean, that kind of interactive fiction was very much a crossover between games and traditional narrative style fiction. And I think interactive video sits in that space. And what we always point people towards Yu-Kai Chou's work and his Octalysis framework, because there is these identified areas with gamification like time pressure, score, points, leaderboards, the kind of the hero's journey, being in a position where you've got to go through an exercise and you're kind of like placed in a position of being part of the story. So all these elements feed into interactive video. So you can very much, I think, use the two concepts interchangeably. Yes, you can just have a straightforward interactive video where maybe like the onboarding one, you're exploring a topic, but you are very much got more scope than that to develop things like, scores. You've got the ability to have challenges, quizzes. So anyway, I'm going on a little bit, but I do think gamification and how it's proven to increase engagement is a very important topic, and it's worth reading up on. And interactive video is part of the same space, I think.
Absolutely. How about you, Corey? What do you think?
Yeah, with what Mike said, I also think it's that part of not being talked at and taking an active participation in your learning. You have a very easy way of slipping out of, what you're being supposed to be learning if you're just being talked at, especially for an extended video. But if you have to interact with it and you take participation, and you can even make a character that looks like yourself. You're interacting with it, you're learning, you're engaging. So I think it's mostly like nowadays, people don't, take in as much information. The attention span might be a little shorter with social media and whatnot. So if you have a video that you actually have to actually click on and, take participation in, you're way more likely to retain that information. So I think that's more prevalent today and more of an issue today. So I think, near life with that gamification and beyond videos and being more engaged can help solve that type of attention span issue and interactive issue.
And I would say as well, Vyond have a great range of, like, I showed you that cybersecurity one with the kind of the aliens and the astronauts, but there's a lot of, if you really want to make them a kind of a gamified experience, and there was the kind of Knight's Quest one you saw, I think there were some examples of that on our site as well. There's a lot of templates you can use to really add a gamified feel to it. You can obviously gamify your standard videos and office settings as well, but you've got the scope to create quite interesting and inventive game experiences.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for these answers. And I think it's time to wrap up our session today. Just probably a few seconds for some last words. Maybe how can people contact you for more questions, to continue the conversation? Maybe, Corey, what about you?
I can share my information in the chat if people want to reach out or have any questions. But they can always go on vyond.com. We have the option on there to start a free trial. So if you go right on there, you can have access to Vyond for free for Vyond Go as well. Play around with it, and then you can always reach out to us if you're interested in buying it. But if you have any other questions, I can put my contact information in the chat as well.
I think that would be. Yep. And
yeah, I was going to say, sure, I'll do the same. I just put my email in there, and likewise, as Corey says, people can obviously take a look on our website. Lots of examples. I think we've got a whole page of Vyond examples on there for people to explore and see what's been done. And yeah, just reach out. You can always do a free trial on our tool, and we're always happy to kind of just have an informal chat if people are thinking about this type of approach. But we just think it works. We love working with Vyond, and obviously we're really pleased to be partners with Moodle. So I think when you bring these different elements together, you have a pretty comprehensive approach to learning that hopefully makes it more engaging for your end user.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Yeah, I think this is a great way to end the conversation today. Thank you very much for joining me, Corey and Mike, and thank you to everyone who stayed until the very end. I hope it was interesting and engaging for you. Please reach out, keep in touch. Let's continue the conversation and see you next time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Bye.